All right. Well, hopefully you have a wonderful time. I've been to Palm Springs a couple times. It's got to be what, 110, 115 out there in the next couple days?
Yep, it's gonna be really hot, but I love that.
Okay. See, I'm a cold weather fan. If you ask Jen, she is a warm weather
Stayed at the
fan.
hotel, hung out, you know.
I love dry heat. Like my whole family calls me a lizard because I'll just be happy laying on a rock somewhere.
Okay,
Just
cool.
like, oh, there
Awesome.
she is on a rock again.
Awesome. Amy, good to see you. Good to see everyone's smiling faces that are on. PK, nice to have you back.
Hi.
We just got back from vacation.
We know.
Well, how was Hawaii, PK?
It was so beautiful. I was on Zillow constantly looking at properties.
Cool, right? Life of a real estate agent. Hey, Christina, can you mute yourself and take your camera off? I'm get a little distracted. Thanks. So constantly on Zillow, constantly working. That's the norm, right? But
Yeah,
did you
I was
want
just
time
looking
to
to
relax?
see. And yes, time to relax for sure. But I was on Zillow because I thought it was just so beautiful. And the property taxes are so low. I did not know it's 0.28%. Like that's ridiculous. Although I'm learning that it's different for residents versus non-residents, but I mean, it's still pretty ridiculously low. So that's just FYI.
Yeah. So are you thinking about going out there and living?
No, more like investment down the line. Yeah. We're
Awesome.
never leaving the Bay.
So I had about 6 times in my career to go and work and live in Hawaii, and I almost went a couple times, but I never went because I was in the timeshare business for years, and I worked for Marriott, I worked for Wyndham, worked for Hilton, and each company always offered me an opportunity and a position to go out there, and I almost went, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I made some roots. Now that I have a son, it's like I can't be going to traveling to these cool resorts and working, but I was close. I was close. And it's hard when you're there, you're like, oh my God, this place is incredible. I had never eaten Spam the way that they made Spam, the musubi. I had never had that, and I was hooked. I'm still hooked on it. I had only had Spam because I was broke as a kid. My mom would cut it up with eggs and put it in a tortilla with a little bit of cheese. That was bomb. That was the only type of Spam I ever had. So
Really agree with you. I think the only thing I could not stand was the roads. I just feel like they're so slow with like driving, and like it's island time and I'm like, let's go, like be on a highway, but it's like really
I loved that.
I
Oh
know,
my
it's just
gosh. I was on the
time zone.
freeway and they were going 45 miles an hour. Everybody. That was beautiful.
I know.
Okay, so I'll tell you a story, and you guys will get started in just a couple minutes as I let everyone in the room. So I go to Maui for my first time. We're at the airport. I had a choice. All right, get the Jeep or get the convertible, quintessential Chrysler Sebring that everyone gets on the island at that time. So I'm like, cool, let's get the Sebring, right? So we do the Hana Highway, or wherever you say that. And I'm like, oh, 14 miles, we're gonna be up there in no time, right? Twist and turn and turn and turn and twist and turn. So then we decided once we get to the top and do the sacred pools or whatever, we're gonna go down the backside and come around the Hana Highway. Well, there's just dirt there and random cows. And so we're in the Sebring, and I'm thinking this thing's gonna fall apart, chitty chitty bang bang, all the way through the back end of Maui. We made it, but I was like, so my advice to everyone, if you go to Maui, just get the freaking Jeep. Right now, it's expensive to rent anything out there, but just get the Jeep. It's well worth it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. We are here, 40 people in the house once again. So by a show of hands, is there anybody in group coaching for their very first time? Give me a reaction down below, or just give me a raise of a hand. Is there anybody here in group coaching for their very first time? Let me look around. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and get the party started. I want someone to bring us out on the field. Gabrielle, I'm going to put you on the spot. Once you go ahead and bring your troops out on the field today, let's set us up for success. So Gabrielle, bring us out on the field.
So
You
I've
got-
never
go.
done that. So what does that mean?
So just kind of like, we're coming out of the gates. We're coming out on the field for game day, right? We're walking out and it's a Sunday afternoon. We're ready for a game. So hype the team up. Let's get us out on the field.
Okay. Well, I think that we should try and have a productive day if that's what we're aiming for. If we're trying to have a more restful day, let's go ahead and try and honor that request. And so whatever your intentions is for the day, try and honor that. And that's why I'm feeling this morning.
Awesome. And which one are you leaning towards today?
Oh, I don't know. We had a full moon last night. I don't know if anyone noticed that or like felt off. And so I'm feeling like kind of rejuvenated. So I think I'm going to try and have a balance of both today.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Balance of both today. I love it. So for me, I was like a kid, waiting for the first day of school. My mom's en route right now to see my son for his birthday tomorrow. She's actually bringing a car for me, a 67 VW Bug, which I'm really stoked about. And so I wanted to make sure the house was perfect. I want to make sure that it smells good when my mom walks in. So I'm like super, super anxious to see my family, which I'm excited because I didn't see much of them through COVID. So I'm super, super stoked that they're coming up. So you guys, let's go ahead and shift gears. We've got some great stuff to talk about today. So I wanted to ask you guys a quick question. Does anybody know who the author Og Mandino is? Please raise your hand. Old school author, wrote tons and tons of success books, sales books. Just a prolific writer, prolific author, and I highly, highly recommend, if you haven't picked up some of these old school Og Mandino books, make sure to pick up a few. There's a stack of books. So I was reading last night and this morning, just kind of getting some thoughts and getting my mindset for the day. And I read this and I want to share this with you guys before we go into anything today. Compared to what we ought to be, we are only half awake. Our fires are dampened, our drafts are checked. We are making use of only a small part of our mental and physical resources. And I wanted to talk about that. Oh, look at the dog. I want to talk about that again because it really hit a nerve with me, because it says that we are only making use of a small part of our mental and physical resources. By a show of hands, how many people on this call right now feel like they're truly, truly tapping into everything that they can offer in their business life right now? Please raise your hand if you feel like you're truly, truly tapped, right? And it happens to the best of us. You guys, don't get me wrong. This happens to the best of us, right? But I read this quote and I was like, this is absolutely incredible. The next quote I want to share with you guys, it says, we must not be okay in a sea of mediocrity, right? Sometimes when we see somebody succeed at a high level, let's look at the industry. And sometimes they look at Kenny and be like, oh man, he's crazy. He's crazy. Because in their mind, they feel like success sometimes, and that level of success is not attainable, right? But we all know what's possible because look what's going on with this company, right? I had a thought the other day. Our vision, our production has already surpassed our vision. Think about that. Our production has surpassed our vision. We had a vision to hit 500 million this year, and we're going to break that. We're going to hit $1 billion quicker than we ever thought. And so our production is outpacing our vision, which is incredible to think. Don't satisfy for safety and security. Don't let that become an ideal. So many times we're okay with being in a safe zone. Well, uncomfortable. If you are not uncomfortable in this business, you are doing something wrong. I promise you, you guys, this is a business, and I was talking to Gabrielle the other day. This is a business of constant failure. I cannot tell you how many times Kenny and I, have made mistakes or made decisions that we were going to roll out to the company and just didn't work out. It's cool. That's fine. Because there's a few that have really worked out for us in the long run, right? So it's okay to not play it safe in this business. And I want to say that, and I want to say that with the most conviction and certainty that I could possibly muster. It is okay to not play it safe in this business. right? You have to wake up every single day and say, what chances am I going to take today? What risk am I going to take today? How am I going to be a better version of myself than what I did yesterday in this business? When we talk about stop hesitating, I was talking to an agent the other day. She had some of the best ideas. Someone's 3 tomorrow. Say hi. She had some of the best ideas, and I was like, okay, cool. I have similar ideas. I love this. Like, what's your action plan? Well, I don't know. I got all these ideas. I'm like, then just start doing. Give yourself a deadline on your calendar. Be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And every single day up until this deadline date, these are the things that I'm committed to creating every single day. She's like, all right, well, thanks for the help. I'm like, you already had it. You already had it within yourself. So I put on my notes here, fail, 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 and then fail daily. Embrace your inner voice. It says here, don't satisfy for safety and security. We must have a constant desire to grow. We must be willing to take risks. And we must lock that percentage of potential that we never use. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. Just because you hit a certain level of success doesn't mean that there's not another level of success for you. Just because you feel like you grew as an individual doesn't mean that there's not something next that you could be striving towards. You guys have all faced some fears, is that correct? Some of you guys are facing fears being on these calls. Some of you
Hey,
guys,
Elias,
yo,
can I interject for a quick second? I understand the statement you provided. How about, instead of saying fail, how about one step closer to success? And just labeling, it's just one step closer to success.
totally, absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Fail, lesson learned. You need to learn some hard lessons every single day. You're absolutely right. So all of us have faced some fears. Look at our Thursday sessions. When you guys come into a Thursday session for Zillow Flex training, how many people are a little fearful of that environment? Please raise your hand. It's a little nerve-wracking, right? You guys step up. If Sasha's on the line today, people are stepping up in a big way, facing their fears, growing, doing that every single week. And I look at some of you guys right now that are on this call, and I've seen your communication skills grow. I've seen your flow, the way that you respond to objections grow in ways that I never even thought were possible. So we have to continuously grow, set new benchmarks for ourselves. We have to continuously fall in order to continuously get back up, and learn. And we have to constantly look at our career and say, you know what? These are the things that I'm really, really fearful of. There's a lot of things that are going to be fearful in this business. But my question to you is, are you facing them or saying, you know what? I'm just going to stay with what's comfortable, right? I'm going to send some emails today, right? Because you know why? I don't want to get on the phone. So I'm going to make sure I feel okay by sending some text messages and emails, because those phone calls, those are scary. And then what happens is you're like, not today, not today, not today. Until you finally say, you know what? All right, I don't care what they say. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to face this. Hi, Tom. Hi, this is Pete. Oh, okay. Sorry for bothering you. Damn it. Right? You have to build that thick skin, and it's only going to happen by you guys facing your fears. I'm reading this book, another book. It's called The University of Success by Og Mandino. So many great gems. This is not just a quick read. This is a process. Probably going to take me a few months to complete this book. But the point of my discussion this morning is to making sure that you guys are truly, truly pushing yourselves, getting uncomfortable, facing your fears on a daily, and challenging yourself to grow on a daily, because that's what this business is all about. You guys have to find ways to grow, to push. I know, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing things that you guys are creating. I'm seeing people's social game like explode from somebody that was shy and meek, and now is coming with all this great content because they were saying, you know what, I'm just going to try. I'm just going to do. I'm just going to do. So I wanted to talk to you guys, and I want to open the conversation up really quick. What is one thing that you are truly, truly fearful of in this business? Or what is an area of your business where you feel that you have the biggest opportunity for growth? I want to open up the platform for anyone to chime in, to dive into this conversation. I think that's a powerful conversation to have. So who wants to take the mic next and chime in? Go ahead, Patrick Nissim.
I'm terrified of a circumstance that could compromise someone's EMD. Like, is like the ultimate nightmare scenario. You know, it's like, it's so scary because it's a market where we're always trying to be competitive and we're trying to like shave down every single contingency that we can. But like that worst case scenario, like literally will sometimes keep me up at night. Like the prospect of someone you've invested so much into, like emotionally, like you're in their universe trying to get them to the next step of their life, and any semblance of an idea that you could somehow have contributed to this idea that they lose their EMD, like that by far keeps me up at night. Like I could let a listing agent down if you get out of contract, shit happens. I can, you know, I can take lumps on the chin if someone picks up their call and they're grumpy at me, but man, the EMD thing, like that's the only thing really that keeps me up at night. That and like getting sued, but like those two things usually come hand in hand.
Yeah, so let me share this with you, and Kenny will be the first one to share. As many deals as Kenny has done over the years, he hasn't been sued, right? He hasn't been sued. So it's crazy to think that level of production, 500 deals like plus, hasn't been sued. The EMD, that's why you as a professional are going to do your homework on your comparables, right? To make sure that we don't have a shortfall. Make sure that we have done our inspection contingency and reviewed all the documents, and make sure that you've had a communication with the lender. If you've done your homework, then you're going to say, you know what? I can't release this contingency. I have to keep this contingency in place to protect the client. So as long as you're doing all of your homework, then you'll be able to sleep at night. It's when you agreed with them to write an offer at $1 million with no inspection or no appraisal contingency, knowing they only had an extra 20,000 in the bank, and there was no comps that supported that number that even came close. Damn, dude, why would you even do that? That's putting their EMD on the line, right? But when you've done all of your homework and research, it is up to you to decide how to advise them and say, hey, you guys, I'm totally against this approach. So if you do that, this is what could potentially happen. We have to educate them, man. And I think you, being who you are going to do a really, really good job at making sure that that doesn't happen. So good stuff. What are some other fears that you guys are facing right now? You know, whether it's transactional or not, or some opportunities that you feel that you have the biggest opportunity for growth right now. And if you don't speak up, you know I'm calling you. Go ahead. Who's that?
Hi. Gosh, I think my biggest fear, and it, you know, I have it often, and it was something that we chatted about earlier this week, but the imposter syndrome sets in very heavily with me. You know, I fear that I won't be good at this. You know, I'm brand new, and I feel right now like a kid in a pool with floaties on, and you're not really sure if the floaties are going to save you. And just nervous of failure, not being good enough. And it's difficult because this is such an important career for your clients and for yourself. And so that is my biggest fear, I would say.
Laura, and I want to have people chime in because I could see people's eyes and physiology. People have some responses for you, which are going to be super positive and uplifting. I could tell. You're an actor, right? Or an actress, excuse me. When you're on stage and when you get your lines, what is the feeling that you have when you're on your game? What is the feeling that you have?
It's amazing. It's funny the nerves you have right before you go on, and then when you're actually on stage, they dissipate immediately, and then the rest of the show or shoot goes really well.
So as soon as this is the curtains open. Now Lauren is stepping out. You're confident, right? Why are you confident?
Because I've prepared myself.
Totally, right? You've mentally prepared. You've probably rehearsed. Right? You've kind of stood there. You've said these words out loud. You've looked out of the crowd. I know who's going to be there. Oh my God, this is going to be great. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It is the same self-talk that you're going to have in this business, right? If you are prepared, if you prep, if you spend the time behind the scenes rehearsing your lines, meaning doing your buyer's presentation, working with your coach, working with your mentor, knowing the contract, when your curtain opens, you're ready for that fucking stage. Is there going to be a little bit of nerves? Totally. You guys, with all due respect, to be totally transparent, every single time I walk into a group setting, I'm still nervous. I am still nervous, 100%. And I've been in this game for a while now. So whatever state that you have when you are an actor, actress, and that preparation behind the scenes, it is the same exact thing. It is the same exact thing. Who wants to give her some advice, some words of encouragement? Go ahead, Miss Tania.
Lauren, this is the best experience I've ever had. I started out in real estate in 2007, and we did our little training, and then we got a desktop with some people to call. That was it. And you're talking about imposter. I'm calling people up on the telephone afraid that they're going to hang up on me. And I've never been so ready. Every time I come to one of these classes, I say, oh my God, how far could I be now if I'd had this in 2007? This is phenomenal. I mean, granted, as he said, as Elias says, the fear thing comes up with the rejection, but I'm getting used to expecting, okay, I expect a no, so that when I get a yes, it feels good. So this is phenomenal. You have such good support.
I love this. And you know what? I appreciate your insight and thank you for your kind words. I want to hear from Eric. I mean, Eric is somebody that has stepped into his own, has stepped into his identity, his hairs, his tattoos, his freaking quirky style, his rock and roll vibe. And he has stepped into that and built his brand off of that. So Eric, you want to speak on this for a moment, bro? I know you're driving, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about imposter, I felt like the biggest imposter. And sometimes I still do, because before real estate, I played in bands. I worked in bars. All I did was party. I was a professional partier. And so stepping into this role where, or this career where you got to, present yourself in a professional way and stuff, I felt like a poser for a while. And you know what? I was. I tried to fit into that mold, and, I'd wear button-ups. I went to Banana Republic and spent $500 on chino pants that I've never bought in my life. And, I worked in a stale-ass, all-white, old people office, and it just wasn't me. And I felt like an imposter, truly. And now, I find a lot of success being myself. And I think, one of the biggest things that I hear over and over again through the comments and stuff on my silly ass Instagram shit is people saying, hey, we appreciate you being so authentic. And that's from like potential clients and from other agents, so be yourself and fuck everything else. And you shouldn't feel like an imposter, like life is too short, and sometimes you grow into different roles as you grow, you know what I mean? And now instead of a professional party animal, I'm a professional escrow animal, you know what I mean? And it's it's been a journey for sure, but you'll grow into your own. You just gotta stay true to yourself, and really what it is go after the goal that you set for you to achieve. And if you focus on that, fuck everything else, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah, and good stuff, Eric, because there was a two-parter to what you said, Lauren. There was, first off, imposter syndrome, right? The only way you're going to get over imposter syndrome is by being your true authentic self. And then the fear portion of it. It's okay to have fear, right? But the way that you're going to get over fear and build confidence is by preparation, by practice, practice, practice. That way, when someone says, oh, well, we want to wait until the market dies down and we want to wait till the crash. I was glad that you said that. Boom, and you're able to go in, right? Because you've practiced these things. Penise.
I definitely feel you on both ends. When I was not even licensed, I was on a different team and I was helping clients and I wasn't even licensed. And that felt like a fraud. Like I kept telling my team, I don't feel right. Like this is not right. And guess what? They bought their house, they love it, and I'm not a fraud. I got licensed and I was still able to help them. It was really all in my head. And for all they saw was somebody trying to help them buy a house. And it got done. They bought their house. When I gave them their keys, they, like the twin brother hugged me. He's like 1 year old. He hugged me, and the kids are now in their backyard running around, and they send me stories of it. And for months I was feeling gross about not being licensed or being new and trying to help these clients. But I actually helped them, and that's what they saw. So it's so normal for us to be with our own insecurities and fears in our own heads and projecting that into the world. But I don't think that's what they see, because you're truly trying to help somebody and they see that. So I would say, just every time you have that thought, pause for a moment and remind yourself why you're doing it. Go back to your why. I know your why is not money, because there's so many different ways you can make money. Real estate doesn't actually help you make anything until you close a deal, which means you help somebody. So I don't think any of us are actually doing this for money, because we don't make any money until we're helping people.
Right.
And then the other thing is imposter syndrome. Like, I was the biggest, like, I had so many fears, especially like on social media. I come from my background, I'm Iranian, and like in my culture, it's so easy for people to judge you. Like, people judge me. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so blah, blah, blah. And like, guess what? Don't follow me if you don't like to see it. And now those same people that I was fearful of messaging or like putting stories out are messaging me saying, can you help me sell my house? Can you help me buy a house? So it's really all in our heads, to be honest.
Love it. You know, so Lauren, and I'm glad that you said this, PK, because it reminded me of something that had a really pivotal change in my career. It was the book, First Start With Why. Well, before that book came out from Simon Sinek, it was just a course that he would teach, right? And it was Start With Why. It was called The Golden Circle. So Lauren, remember this, and always remember this, that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? We all sell real estate, cool, right? We all can help people buy and sell real estate and help investors. Okay, there's no richness to that, right? That's surface level shit. But why do I do these things, right? Mr. Consumer, I take a position of wanting to help families build generational wealth because I went without when I was a child, and I'll be gosh darn if I'm not in a position to help people be the great emancipators of the dream. That's why I do what I do. And I'm looking forward to helping you and serving your family. Well, shit, you don't just know comps and know this industry. Like, you're telling people not what you do, why you do it. And when you're aligned with that, people will follow you and people will want to do business with you. Leah, you had your hand up, or Ernesto, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I got a couple quick things. One, as it relates to like imposter syndrome and being yourself, there's been some good examples that have this week that have stood out in our team. On Wednesday, there was a gentleman who made a comment in our meeting, like, what if I post things on social media and people don't like it? And then you see people like Eric Kang, who's just like this rocker dude who fucking loves his vibe. And then you look at Will's video last night. Will's video, if you guys haven't seen it, was super powerful for me because he is his authentic self. And the point I'm trying to make here is that we are so concerned about trying to make everybody like us. There is tremendous value in knowing who doesn't like you. So by Will being openly gay and a realtor, how much time is he saving himself by potentially getting engaged with, involved with a client who finds out, oh, in my culture, I don't know that I can do business with gay people. Will's putting it out there. He's himself. This is who I am. And if you don't like me, thank you for letting me know early on. We just saved each other a bunch of times. So we put so much effort into trying to make everybody happy, and that's not possible. So knowing who doesn't like you and filtering those people out is still super valuable. As it relates to like your preparation, I can relate as well. I'm newer and I worry about, am I filling out this contract correctly? Am I prepared adequately? There's no test. I feel that too. So what may help you is, rather than trying to look for a new way to solve for that, go back to a time in your life where you had a similar experience and think about what worked already. So when you were getting into acting, were you nervous? How did you overcome it? What specifically did you do? Who was involved? What were your habits? And whatever helped you get over that hump of nervousness as you got into acting, there's very likely that you can kind of replicate that model and apply it to where you are right now in real estate, and hopefully you'll find some success.
Absolutely. I love it. Love it. Good stuff. I mean, Ernesto, well said. And I think what you just said would definitely hit home. What everyone's saying is hitting home. Aaliyah, let's go to you. You had a question?
Yes. Well, I didn't have a question. I had a comment on one of the things that I struggle with. The main thing I struggle with is calling people. And that is, I know if I were able to get over that hump, then it would expand my business a lot more. And for some reason, it's just still really scary for me.
Okay. So actually it's going to be the baseline of the next 30 minutes. So I'm glad that we're going to have that conversation. So let me ask you first off, Aaliyah, let me try to quantify this and identify, where does the fear lie? So is it a fear of rejection? Is it a fear of not knowing your shit? Like what part of it are you fearful of?
I think it's a fear of rejection because I'm fine talking on the phone. Like if someone calls me, or if like I already know that they're interested in real estate, or, you know, need help with something that I can offer help to. So I think it's just the rejection part, and people not knowing that I'm going to call them is just like a little nerve wracking.
So, you know, first things first, you are in sales. And part of being in sales is knowing how to book for an appointment. But it's not just let me sell you. A great appointment setter and being able to book for an appointment is your ability to communicate and be able to ask really great questions. It's not let me tell you all these things and cross my fingers and hopefully you say, yes, I want to meet with you. It's being able to go in and have a dialogue and know how to overcome objections. Because if you know how to overcome all the objections, which there's not many of them, that's actually what we're going to talk about right now, you'll feel confident, like, okay, whatever they hit me with, at least I have a way to flow with them. So let's do this, you guys. I want you guys to, in the chat, if you are not driving, I want you guys to write down what you believe are the top objections that we get on. We're only going to speak about buyers right now. We'll do sellers on another call. What do you believe the top objections that you're going to get right now? If I was to give you access, which I will give you access to 6,000 leads to call. If you had access to 6,000 leads to call right now, what do you believe the most common objections are going to be? I want you guys to put those in the chat right now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of these together as a team to learn how other people are responding to this. Because, oh, you got a tent? That's cool. Cool, buddy. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I love this. Okay. Price. Okay. All right, so let's unpack some of these. I want to take out a couple of them. Okay, let's take that top one first off. The market is too hot. Whew, I love this one. That is one of my favorite objections. So how would, and let's help Aaliyah out here. Let's help our brothers and sisters. How would one of you guys who would like to jump in on that objection? The market is too hot. We've all dealt with this. We've all had those people that want to wait. You are talking to somebody and one of their main objections is the market is too hot. What are we saying? It's too hot, son. Yes. Who wants to take that one?
I can go. I could go.
Let's go, Christine.
Try.
Let's go,
Okay.
Christine.
I'm
Yep.
sitting in the garage if you guys can't hear me. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you. So I'll give you some context here.
Okay.
You called me.
Okay.
We're a lead that has been in the lead pond for about 6 months. And we said, you know what, Christina, thanks for the call. We're actually just going to wait because the market is way too hot right now. We can't afford anything.
Well, I completely understand, Elias. I know the market is crazy right now, but here's a few facts. So right now, interest rates are at an all-time low. So what you can be potentially approved for right now in a few months, because we don't see the market shifting anytime soon, we actually see it probably increasing another at least 10%. We can get you pre-approved for something now, whereas in maybe a few months you won't be able to even purchase that. So why don't we just give it a shot and just get started and start looking at some properties?
Okay, let's good stuff. Good stuff. And Christina, brand new. What else? I want to hear some other people's thoughts on this. The market is too hot. We can't afford it. We want to wait. Come on, you guys, hit me with it. I want to hear it. Cynthia, let's go.
Okay, cool. Well, let me ask you this, Elias. How long are you folks planning to be in this home? Is this the forever home that we've been discussing?
Yeah, we want to be here for at least a good 10 years.
Okay, got it. So let's think about, in the time that we've been looking in the last 6 months, prices have gone up, right? You and I have been seeing the pending sales. When they sell over. Here's the thing, those folks are in their homes. They're already there. You know, that property that we saw on 123 Main Street, yeah, it went over the asking price, right? We know exactly how much it went over. The thing is, we're seeing these listing prices and they're kind of like we were talking about, they're a made up number by the listing agents. It's not what the home is actually going to sell for. So we've been giving you the data. You've been seeing it on your own too. At the end of the day, when it's the right time for you and your family, that's when it's the time to make a move. You know, yeah, homes are going to be going up. That's appreciation. That's what we want. We want our homes to go up in value, right? And so, yeah, in maybe 3 years, it may not be worth that much, but we're not looking at the short term, Elias. We're looking at the long term. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep our why in mind. Sound good?
Sounds really good. You know, here's the thing that I like about that is that we have to frame this, right? To help them understand that it's easy for us to look at the immediate, what's right in front of us. It's hard, it's tough. We saw 50 homes. Oh my God, this sucks. But how is this going to impact your child growing up in the neighborhood on the cul-de-sac where they're riding their bike and they're making little jumps, they're shooting hoops with Johnny and Frankie that live across the street, and they're building a sense of community and all the things that they're going to do. And in hindsight, you guys are building tremendous wealth that you can essentially pass on to your children, that they could build wealth for themselves and their family. Let's get reminded of what the fucking big picture is here, right, Mr. Buyer? Right? Let's think about the long run here. So if you guys, in your own way, can take them back, shed some light on that, give them their mouthpiece, give them some water, put some Vaseline on their eyebrows and push them back in the ring, that's when you guys become coaches, right? You guys have to be a tremendous coach right now in this competitive environment because there's going to be clients that are beat up. They are tired. I can't win in this environment. What do you do as an agent? So this is really good stuff. Let's hear from one other person on this particular objection. Who wants to take it? PK?
I'll take it, man.
All right, so let's go to Patrick. I haven't heard from Patrick. Let's go, Patrick.
So just like your last point, I just aim to put things in perspective. So hey, Mr. Buyer, nobody moves for fun. Obviously, you're looking at buying a house for your family. You have kids, or so you want to put the home purchase into the long-term aspect that it deserves. I mean, think about grandma's house. My grandmother paid $20,000 for her house. It's worth $900,000 now. So, just because the news says that things are hot and you can't afford it, it's not necessarily so. You want to keep the long-term perspective into play, unless you plan on moving in 2 years.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, right? Because you know what I'm not going to do, Mrs. Buyer? I'm not going to let go of your dreams. I won't, and I'm not going to let you let go of your dreams. I'm going to fight, and we're going to continue to fight. And if it takes 6 months, we're still going to fight, right? Because we've had that before. We work with clients that it took 6 months to get in the contract, 75 homes, 7 different cities, 4 different counties, right? That happens. So PK, you want to chime in on that? Sorry.
Yeah, I would just say, Elias, the market is really hot. And what do you think the rental market is going to look like in a couple of years? You're going to be helping your landlord build equity on his property or her property, while you could have been building that equity for yourself. So yes, the market is really hot, but the market is hot all across. The property values are going up, which means rents are going to go up. And I'll pose a question back to you, Elias. Do you think that your salary or your partner's salary is going to be increasing at a 15% rate year over year or 10% rate year over year as we're seeing in inflation?
No, I hope, but I don't think, no, realistically, not at all.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. The real estate market is hot. And if we're not getting you into a property that you own and building your equity year over year, you're going to be paying that rent and helping somebody else build that equity instead.
Totally. God, I'm loving this conversation, guys. I get goosebumps on this conversation.
Aaliyah,
Hold on, let me finish my thought. I'll come right back to you, Ernesto. Hang tight really quick. Aaliyah, let me ask you a question. You said that it's not the right time for you to buy and it's too expensive, right? Is that what you just told me? Aaliyah, take yourself off of mute so we can have a conversation.
Sorry, yes.
So you just said, okay. So let me ask you a quick question, Aaliyah. You said that your rent right now for the 2-bedroom place that you're in is about $3,500, correct? So I just wanted to ask you a really quick question. I know that you said that it's tough and you don't think that you can afford to buy right now. I want to ask you a question. Can your family afford, because mine can't, can your family afford to throw away $210,000? I want to ask you that question.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, for the next 5 years, if you continue paying what you're paying, that's the money that you're going to throw away. So when you think about the long term, I know it's tough, but you guys as a family can afford to blow $210,000. That's money that could be for your children. That's money that could go to building your own wealth versus, like PK said, building someone else's wealth, right? $210,000, that's you know, a quarter of a home in most markets right now. Maybe that's half of a home in Antioch, right? So that's you becoming a better coach. Sorry, Ernesto, you were gonna say something?
I was just going to take a similar angle. We got to find the pain and emphasize it. I'm not going to, this is not the market where I'm going to convince anyone that they should be climbing that mountain. I want you to be motivated to climb up that mountain, and I'm going to guide you. So if there's not enough pain on your end, maybe this is not the right time for you, and we should not be wasting each other's time. And I'm not going to use that verbiage like we're wasting each other's time, but yeah, if someone's not motivated and they feel like they can't afford it and they're not willing to do their part to get to where they want to get, maybe it really isn't the right time for each other. Every client that I'm working with now has motivation, and I highlight that. It's not about, oh, don't you want equity? Don't you want? It's like, I'm trying to get you out of your painful situation of your rent going up, of your home being too small, of you living with your mom and your girlfriend hates it. Like, let's get you out of that pain.
Yep, love it, love it. Aaliyah, let's do this. Let's and then we'll go through some more objections. You want to do a call with me right now? You ready? Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's pump her up a little bit. This shit's uncomfortable.
Let's go.
All right, Aaliyah, you could do this. Everyone on this call has done this with me. So I'll give you some context first off. I've been in the lead pond for the last 6 months. You see, my search has been Oakland and Berkeley. You're giving me a call to shake the tree and book it for an appointment. So let's just run it back. Aaliyah, call me and we'll just have a dialogue right now. So are you ready?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Hello.
Hi, Elias. This is Aaliyah with eXp Realty. Just checking on you. How's everything going?
That's good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm keeping busy. So I just wanted to call you, and I've been looking at a lot of homes in Oakland and Berkeley, and I've, been keeping you in mind because I know you have a goal of home ownership. So I just wanted to touch base and tell you what I've been seeing in the market. We talked about a few touch points on what you're looking for in a home, and I've been seeing some homes. So I was wondering, are you still interested in home ownership and is that still your goal?
Yeah, but we're gonna wait about a year.
Okay, tell me more about that.
We just want to wait until the market turns.
Until the market turns, yeah. So the market's really amazing right now. I know you've probably been hearing a lot that it's really hot, and there are some reasons for that. One of them being that interest rates are incredibly low right now, and we don't know how long they will stay this low, but I did want to just give you some insight. So this is what I've been noticing. If you have right now, let's say interest rates are around 3%, let's compare that to next year. Maybe it's 1% higher. Over the year, the 30-year of your loan, what is the difference? Let's just say it's like 200,000. I don't know. Would that 200,000 make a difference to you?
Yeah, that would definitely make a difference to me.
Yeah, it would make a difference to me too. So here's what I suggest. Maybe you're not ready to buy right now, but there is a great opportunity. So if you see a home and you really like it and you have the ability, what I'm suggesting is let's just go see what's out there for you. And then if you find something that you really, really like, we can, I don't know.
You're doing keep going.
And then, we can decide is right now the right time. We can look at your ability and just your situation and make that decision together.
Okay, good stuff. All right, let's give her a round of applause. We know this is tough. And I'll tell you what, like, if this is something you feel like you are fearful of, we'll push and push and push because it will start to become a little bit more comfortable. So let me ask you a quick question. Why did I stop my search? I was looking 6 months ago. Remember I gave you that context? I was looking.
Oh, yeah.
Why did I stop?
Because of the market. Is that what I forget what you said, honestly.
Okay.
I need to be writing notes down when I'm talking to people.
Okay. All right, cool. So here's the thing. I think that you sound really, really well. Ask them more questions. So Tom, I just wanted to follow up with you. I noticed 6 months ago, you were looking on Zillow and homes in Berkeley as well as in Oakland. And normally, Aaliyah, when someone's looking on Zillow, they're either ready to buy now or they're just in the looking phase. Where would you say you are? Oh, well, we're just looking, or we just kind of put our on hold, or we're just not interested in. Then you'll know exactly where to go from there, right? So it's like, ask them as many questions as you possibly can, because that based on what you said, this is what we should do. Think of yourself as a litigator. A litigator goes into court and they have an end game in mind. The end game for you is to book an appointment. Well, how am I going to get the appointment? I'm going to ask a series of leading questions that are going to get me to where I want to be, which is the close, right? So really good stuff. Absolutely love it. I think that just with a little bit of fine tuning, some practice, I think that this is something that you'll be really, really good at in no time at all. All right, guys, let's take on another objection. Let's hear a couple more objections that we have here. Take me back. I love that. Okay. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. This is a good one. David Hiller. You there, bud?
Up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, my brother. Okay. So we are looking for a $2.5 million home in Piedmont. Okay. There's a couple companies up there. There's Red Oak, and there's a couple companies that we're going to probably go with them. They've seemed like they're real seasoned. We were looking at your Zillow profile and it shows that you're very new. Why would we choose somebody like you?
Oh, that's a great question.
$5 million home.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Well, I'm motivated. I'm really ready to get out there, show houses, where a lot of agents that have been in the career for a long time aren't ready to work with buyers. They really like listings. It's a little bit less footwork for them. They're ready to kind of sit back and let buyers come to them. So when you're working with a younger agent, especially one on a team such as Team Fast, with a lot of other motivated agents ready to go, you're going to be access to the best customer service. What people lack with experience, they make up for in hunger, they make up for in doing their homework. So by going with me, you'll be working with someone who has been living in the Bay Area, raised here since they were young, and also someone who is ready to go out, do the homework, go out and preview homes for you. Ready for someone who's young in the industry and wanting to go do the legwork for their clients. And to be honest, a lot of times when more established agents are working with buyers, they have multiple buyers, multiple sellers. So at the end of the day, you may not be getting that one individual agent's undivided attention. Whereas me, there's a few different buyers that I'm working with, but I don't have hundreds of listings. I don't have referrals coming in all the time. So the clients that I am working with get my undivided attention. And in the event that I may not be able to make it to a particular appointment, my extensive team is all ready and eager to help. And one of them would be more than happy to jump in. So that's a quick little bit, but normally that's kind of like what I would say.
David, let me pause you for a second. Just really, really good. I thought you were going to stop walking, so I was getting a little bit dizzy, but dude.
I have to walk around, man, when I talk. I don't know what it is. I
get it. You're like me, man. We need motion, creates emotion. I get it. Love it. Remove customer service from your vernacular. This is consumer advocacy, right? Consumer advocacy will replace customer service, but man, spot on. Absolutely.
I used customer service because that's what was in the buyer's consultation. I don't know if that is something that's one of the words that was in there, but no, I'll remove that from my vernacular for sure.
Awesome, but really good stuff. Gabrielle, why should we choose you? We're looking at a $2.5 million home in Berkeley. Why should we choose you?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I am a more inexperienced agent as far as the years that I've been on the team, but what I make up for that with is my hunger. I definitely will do that investigative work for you. I'll put in that extra lead work. I'll do the research to make sure that we are extra informed, and that we are extra prepared for, you know, making offers. I also have a really experienced team behind my back that will be there to support and collaborate with me on deals and offers. And, you know, with that, I'll be able to form the best strategy as if I am a more experienced agent. So, you know, you definitely have an asset with going with someone like me because of my hunger and the team that I'm positioned with. We are the #1 team in the Bay Area, and that's because we have happy buyers, happy sellers. And so you'll definitely benefit from that same experience.
Bam, beautiful, beautiful. Let's take one other new person that wants to dive in on this one. Lauren, you want to take this one? So Lauren, hey, we're thinking about, you know, we want to purchase a home in Alameda and Bay Farm. And there's a couple of realtors that were out here that we were referred to. I was looking at your profile. It says that you're brand new. I mean, I don't know, like, why should we go with you versus this person that's worked in Alameda for a long time?
First of all, congratulations. This is a very exciting time for you. I'm sure you're very excited, but also probably really scared. And that is totally normal. And yes, I may be new, but I have joined with an amazing team, Team Vast. It is the best team in the Bay Area. We have so much new technology because, you know, everything has changed in real estate. The game has changed. So we've changed our game. We are so ahead of other teams and other brokerages out there. And we are just ready to jump in and make this work for you. So, you know, I am all about connection. My direction is connection. So I'm here to connect with you, find out what you want, what you need. And my team is here to support me in anything that I may be unsure about being new. So I hope that you can take a chance on me and my team because we're going to get you what you need.
Awesome. Awesome. And it's not hope, right? We're not hoping they want. This is why you should work with me, right? My energy, my passion, like David was saying, I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to do what those agents that are top producers in that Piedmont market did in their very first couple of years. Do you think they became top producers because they didn't do what I'm doing now in the early years, right? But now a lot of them rest on their laurels, right? I'm not going to rest on my laurels. I'm going to eat, sleep, and breathe this until you guys get the home that you guys want. And that's what you can expect from me, is that I'm hungry and I'm determined. I'm going to do whatever it takes, right? So love this, you guys. Let's hear from one other person. Aaliyah, let's hear from you on that.
Okay.
Sales in Alamo. How are you going to help us find a home in Alamo?
Well, okay, so I was gonna just kind of add on to what some people have said is, you know, something that is really important to me is my values and my beliefs. And what I believe is that we should put other people's wants and needs ahead of our own. So I don't want to just help you because I'm gonna get something out of it, but I want to help you because this is your goal, and helping other people makes me happy. So that's my main motivation. And then two, just like adding on being part of this amazing team and with eXp Realty and just the amazing support and networking capacity that we have, and everything else that you guys said. I would just add that little piece. That's pretty much.
Love it. Love you guys. Love it. Let's do this, you guys. I want to go around the room. Obviously, we've covered a lot of ground today. I think we should continue doing these things. We probably do these things in person and make some calls and like, you know, kind of hear from each other doing this live. It's like, oh, hey, you said that, but like try this next time they say that. All right, cool. Right. So like having some like dialogue in the office, I think would be really, really cool. But, you know, we talked about, you know, pushing yourself, being uncomfortable, you know, learning every single day, taking risk every single day. There's a lot of things to unpack here. And what I'm hearing from you guys is that, man, when you guys are, I just want to let you know, as a coach, when you guys are pushed, like this new you, like, okay, all right, Elisha, you're calling me, I got this, right? I see this side of you that you might not even see in yourself, but like when you guys are pushed something beautiful starts to happen. And I think for me and Kenny, as we see this evolve, that's where the excitement lies. Like we can see when you guys are pushed in this environment, you all get better. And to think like we're just getting started, we're going to continue to do these things. So I'm really, really stoked for this conversation. I want to go around the room and hear some key takeaways from people that may not have spoke. So I'm going to go to Raymond Rosales. Raymond, what were some key takeaways from today's session?
I think everything was just really solid. I mean, you know, I've definitely been there, like talking to people and they ask like, why work with you and stuff like that. And I think that there's always a number of different things to say. And I think that, you know, especially being new as I am, like as a full-time realtor, like I definitely rely heavily on the team. And that's definitely what I think has helped me a lot, just gain trust and confidence from people. And then also just being able to just spend a little bit more time with people. But I mean, there was a lot of really good stuff. There's always a lot of really good stuff lately, you know, like that's why I wake up and I go to these things. Like this always gets me hyped for my day. So just
love it. Love it.
Yeah. Trying to take it all in.
Awesome, brother. Let's hear from Amy Imhoff. Amy Imhoff, what were some of your takeaways from today's session?
Yeah, one of the takeaways that we have to overcome our fears, and really our fears aren't even that big. It's just a matter of practicing it out. So I think that's really key to getting over the hurdles, just practicing we kind of make it a bigger deal than it really is. So once we overcome it, it's easy peasy. And then the second part is obviously just practicing handling objections. I love this. Because I don't have the material. And so hearing you guys say, it's like, wow, I didn't even think of that. I would have never thought of that. So
Yeah.
I love it.
That collective wisdom, right? That's why we believe in that collective wisdom. Eric, I know that you're stationary now, my man. What were your takeaways from the session today?
Yeah, I wanted to add on and kind of touch on what Aaliyah and Lauren said about being scared, right? And, you know, when I started my business, my first year, I hated the phone. And again, the imposter thing comes up. I hated salesmen. I hated getting sales calls myself. So I'm like, I'm not going to inflict that upon clients, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, at that time, my bread and butter was open houses. And then the pandemic hit. And so then I had no lead sources. And so I then joined Team Fast, and luckily I did at the perfect time because I had no leads of my own. And so I was like, sink or swim, okay? And the reason why I hated the phone was because I was afraid to make phone calls. But what's more scary, dealing with a potential client and getting turned off, or being broke and starving? You know, the pandemic had just started. I had to borrow money from my girlfriend. You know, I had to borrow money from my girlfriend to pay rent. That's way more scary than the stupid person on the phone telling you to fuck off. You know what I mean? So weigh that shit out, because if you're scared of the phone call, truth is you're going to be broke. It's that simple. So, you know, by you guys attending shit like this and getting better and sharpening your swords or whatever, you know, it's just going to make you better on the phone, and that fear is going to be diminished. And, you know, I feel like I've been making hella fucking phone calls and I'm getting better and better and better, but am I still scared? Do I still get nervous? Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I look back when I first started bartending, I was so scared when someone would order a martini, because martinis are like really simple to make, but they're hard to master. And so like, you know, like no matter what job you start, it's going to be scary in the beginning, right? Like look at your past jobs and then think about how ridiculous that sounds, because it becomes like second nature after you do it over and over and over again. It's the same thing here. You know, you're not going to get better at it unless you do it. You know what I mean? And the more you do it, the easier it's going to become, and that fear is going to dissipate. You know what I mean? So just stay strong and to keep doing what you guys are doing. And Aaliyah, I mean, honestly, that phone call, you're smooth. Like you got this shit. You know what I mean? Another tip. Before I start making my calls, if I'm not in the mood to talk, I'll call my friend, I'll call my lender, I'll call Elias, I'll call somebody just to loosen up my, you know, my mouthpiece so that I can start spinning some shit. You know what I mean? So that always helps me. When I'm not in the mood to call, I'll call my friend and kind of loosen it up. You know what I mean? And then I'm in the mood to talk. So those are some tips. But yeah, keep it up. You guys are killing it.
Right. And you don't just get on stage and start singing, right? You got your tea behind the scenes, you're warming up, right? So when that curtain comes down, you're ready to sing. You're ready. Your voice is ready. I love that. Kenny put in the chat, pick your heart, you guys. If you've ever gone without, if you've ever not had food, if you've never had shelter, right? That's hard. That's the worst hard that you'll ever face. Dealing with some dickhead from New York that say, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Cool. I got 6,000 other people to call. I'll find somebody, right? And here's the thing, you guys, you have a 50-50 chance of them saying yes or no. I really like those odds. Okay, cool. Now, if I get an appointment and I convert them, I have an opportunity to make on an average of $20,000. If you had $20,000 right now, how could that potentially positively affect your life? Right? Man, that was one conversion. All right, let's do this a little bit more, right? Then you start stacking, then you start stacking, you start stacking. So you guys, pick your heart. Absolutely love that. Eric, thank you for your insight. Kenny, you wanna bring us home, bro? Takeaways from you, our visionary, my man.
No, that was a really, really solid panel. It's I think PK was one of my favorite ones because I'm more a technical person. So I liked how, you're really putting people in perspective about locking in the price for life. And Eric's a shock. I didn't know you were coming to coaching, Eric. I know we talked to you about that. So I'm really glad Eric made it and dropping some bombs. Thank you for that. Hope to see more on this.
Awesome. So, hey, you guys, really, really great stuff. Appreciate you all. If you're coming to Walnut Creek, we're hosting a farming session at noon today. This is going to be a fire session. Now this stuff's opening back up. This is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to learn this avenue of your business. We got Alicia there. We got food from JVM. Jen and I are going to be there. So it's going to be a good mastermind. So hoping I can see you guys there. Patrick Nissim, to answer your question, yes, I could stay on for a minute or so. Eric, if you could stay on for a minute or so as well. But you guys have a wonderful day. Keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and crush it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Appreciate y'all.
Elias, I thought it started at 1.
No, it's at noon today. It's
at noon.
all over social. Yep.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you soon, okay? Don't touch my record player. No. No, you're not allowed to touch that. Silas. Don't touch. Don't touch my record player.
You know, if you tell him not to do it, he's just gonna do it more, bro.
You better not hit that baby.
Thanks, everyone. Really, truly, thank you.
Bye, you guys. Have a wonderful day. I didn't know Terry was going to say something.
Bye.
Bye. Good to see you.
We'll see you guys later, okay? Let me get Star out of here. Let me remove some people. Pamela's probably working out right now, getting on her grind. Perfect. Michael Spivey, let me get him out of the room too. All right, cool. What's up, Patrick? That's